Hey guys! So in this video I'm going to be talking about something really weird that's been happening. As I said last time, I have moved. So I left my old apartment, which as we know was quite haunted. Lots of weird things used to happen there. When I was moving out, I realised why some of that might have been happening. I think it was like an old people's place at one point or another. I don't think whatever it was malevolent, I don't know. But when we were moving out, I noticed one of my windowsills had a pentagram burnt into it. So I'm pretty sure that's why. It was the right way up though. So I'm pretty sure they were just trying to get rid of whatever it was. And the person that lived there before me only lasted like 2 weeks. Now I know why. And since I've moved out, I have been keeping track, and I think so far we're up to at least 2 people have lived there. And I've been gone for I've been gone since November, so we're now in the end of May. So they're just siphoning through people. Anyway, it's also a really rough area, as I mentioned before, but it's mainly the fact that that place is haunted. We moved in here. It's a pretty new build, like in the 2000s. Like it's young. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't get any vibes in this place. It feels new. I was enjoying the peace and quiet, but I stupidly bought a clock at a car boot sale, as we call them in the UK. I think in the US you call them like flea markets. I don't know. But basically it's where people just meet up. They have little stalls set up, little tables just full of stuff that they want to sell. Kind of like a garage sale, I guess, but multiple people in one place. I'm pretty sure you guys call it a flea market. I don't know. I was looking at some clocks because I wanted to paint some all pretty and sell them. And I saw these 3 clocks and I was like, yes, how much do you want for all 3? And I bartered with him a little bit and he just gave them to me for like £15. Absolute bargain, because one of them is very old. Since purchasing this clock, we have had some issues. So I've painted the clock. I was really happy with it, but while I've been painting it, a lot of weird things have been happening. So we're very convinced that this clock is haunted. It's actually like over there right now. And I feel very watched while that's not a clock joke. I feel very watched making this video. It's very creepy. But yeah, it's an old mantle clock. I've painted it so now it looks all pretty. It's like Nightmare Before Christmas themed. Because I get a lot of requests for that, but now I don't know if I can sell it because it's literally haunted. I'm literally selling something that comes with someone. Do you know what I mean? But basically, we didn't realise that it was haunted straight away, obviously. I just left them in our kitchen, on our kitchen table. Didn't really think anything of it. I think about a day goes by, and my partner's sat playing Fallout, as he usually does, and the bin lid decides to just fly off towards him into the middle of the floor. And he was like, well, that was strange. I was like, that is very strange. Nothing weird like that's happened since I moved. But I still didn't think about the clock straight away. And then I moved them upstairs because obviously I wanted them in here in the craft room because I'm going to paint them. And then weird stuff started happening up here, and that's when I twigged that it was this clock. Because it's the only one that's in here at the moment. The others are tucked away in drawers. It's up here. It was waiting to be painted, and a lot of weird stuff started happening. And now I've got to remember everything that's been happening. So basically, the first thing I think that happened where we realised it was definitely the clock was I was working on a gift for my partner because he's obsessed with Fallout, and I scratch built a Pip-Boy for him. It's not very good, it's very doofy. It's actually over here. I'll show you it. It's very doofy looking, but I tried my best. It's my first scratch build. Give me a break, okay? It's not horrific, it's just not great, but it does work. It does actually work. But yeah, I was working on this and I was working on the cuff for it actually. And the cuff was on the table next to it. And he was talking to me about some weird things. I can't remember there was another thing that happened before this, I think. And we were talking and he looked at the table and he got up and he just came over to me and he went, I don't want to alarm you, but the wrist cuff that you've made me is like twitching by itself on the table. And we just stood and watched it. And it looked like someone was just literally just poking it randomly. Like it wasn't moving like, you know, momentum or anything, like something had knocked into it. It literally looked like something was just poking it. So that freaked us out. And then I think the next thing that happened, the dog also keeps getting spooked by nothing. Like if you make a loud sound near him, he will quickly get up. But he's been doing that for seemingly no reason. He's just been jumping up, like something's just scared him. And the last time he did that, I did notice that there was a hiss before he did it, and it was in this room. And I was like, that's a no-no, we don't do that, thank you very much. And then after that, we were talking about the clock, and I was gonna start painting it. I think I was doing like I think I did the front first and I was working on the sides this time. So we were just talking about it. At this point, we obviously knew this clock was haunted. And as we were talking about it, he said, you know, it's just weird. Like, how is this happening? And before I'd even touched it, we'd both just come in the room. He'd sat down at his computer. It's a wind-up clock. Like I say, it's a mantle clock. It started ticking. Before I even touched it, I was just about, because it's been off for a long time, like no one's wound it up. It's been sat there for like, at this point it had been 3 or 4 days. And it just started ticking. So we both just looked at each other and he just went, well, you can stop that. And it did. It stopped immediately. And we were like, okay, that's weird. And then the next thing that happened, I was in here and I think I was painting the clock. I think I was sealing it at this point because I'd finished it. And I was getting up, and me and my partner do this stupid thing. Most partners do stupid things like this, but basically, like when we're going up the stairs or, you know, getting up from somewhere, we'll cup each other's butts and be like, I'm helping, but really just groping them. I was getting up off the floor because I work on the floor. That's what I do. When I'm working on something, I'll work on the floor. I was getting up and I swear I felt him grab my ass, like both hands on my butt, lifting me up. So I giggled and I was like, oh, are you? And I turned around and he was all the way on the other side of the room. And he just looked at me, he was like, what? Am I what? And I went cold. I was like, I know you can't move that fast, but please tell me that was you. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I was just like, it grabbed my butt. Like it full on, both hands, both cheeks, like grabbed my butt. I was like, I'm not happy about that. I started to feel really icky. And then the last thing that's happened, that I'm remembering anyway, I'm pretty sure there's been other things that I'm forgetting. The last big thing that happened, which I'll try and include at the end of this, probably. That was knocking in this room. Anyway, the last thing that happened that really creeped me out was I was sat at my vanity, which is just over here in the corner, and I wanted to listen to my music. I do it every day when I'm getting ready in the mornings. I have my headphones plugged in and I'll listen to my music. I was listening to my music and all of a sudden it went full blast in both ears. I was like, excuse me? So I turned it back down and it did it again. So I was like, what is happening? And then it switched songs. I wasn't touching the screen. I was like, are you serious? And it kept stopping and starting and stopping and then volume and then skipping. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. We unplugged my headphones and it was still doing it. I was like, my phone has never done that before. It's never done, and it hasn't done it since. Well, it did it once since, where the volume started to be messed with again, and I just was like, no, and I left the room. When I'm not in this room, it doesn't happen. But that one time, it was really bad, and it wouldn't stop. So I got my partner to film it. Just to prove a point, I'm like holding it at the bottom. It's just turned itself right. It's just turned, it stopped again. And it's just changed songs. What is happening? It's turning itself way back up. I'm gonna turn it back down because it's loud. It's just turning it back up. It's like fighting with me.
I like that one.
Right? It's fucking weird. So he filmed it, and you can see the volumes being messed with. It's skipping songs. It's playing, it's stopping, it's playing, it's stopping. And I'm not touching anything. There's only one button on the side for volume. Most people's phones are like that. And I think it's on the left hand. Yeah, it's on the left hand side of my phone. So I made sure my hands were nowhere near that. And obviously to skip songs, like even my headphones, they're not very good. They're old headphones. They're around the ear headphones. They don't have the volume changing thing on them anyway. But even if they did, you can't skip songs. And it was just skipping songs. It just skipped a couple, and then it played it, and then it stopped it. So I was like, we need to record this because people just aren't going to believe it. So yeah, I now have a haunted clock. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know whether to sell it. And if I do sell it, I don't know whether to list it as haunted. But I made it look really cute, and I'm sad. I'll show you it. So this is the clock in question. I made it look really cute. I'm sad about it. So I've got like a little, you can kind of see it, my ring light's reflecting off of it. Yeah, I'll try and get 0 in there. There we go. And I've got like this pattern on the sides. That's on both sides, by the way. And then on the back, I just did like a little hand painted and then my art username. So like, it's really cute, and I've had loads of people want it, but not when I explain that it's haunted. Now I don't know what to do with it. What do I do with it? And how have I managed to purchase a clock of all things that's haunted? But I've politely asked it to like not do anything. It's not been too bad lately. And I was very respectful when I was painting it. I was like, I'm gonna make you look all brand new, and you know, you're gonna get a nice home. That, like I say, nothing bad has happened. It's just been uncomfortable. It's been creepy. And also, I love all that stuff, but I've lived with it for so long in my last place that like, I don't want to live with it again. You know, I love visiting places like that and, you know, doing all of the, you know, investigation stuff. I love that, but I don't want it in my own house. Unless it's family, I don't want them in my house. So yeah, I'm gonna have to sell it to at least get my money back on it. And the amount of hours I've spent on it, I've spent 8 hours in total painting it. So I need to sell it. Like, you know, my mum really wanted it. I'm not letting her have it. I said no. So if anyone wants a haunted clock that's been hand painted by me, let me know. Should I list it as haunted? Should I just sell it as it is? What should I do? I don't know. Is it immoral of me to not say that it's haunted? Should I just not say anything and just be like, maybe it'll be fine? Because it will be like, oh, I've got a new home. What do I do? What do I do? But my dog won't go near this thing. He absolutely will not go near it. And I don't blame him. Anyway. I'm pretty sure nothing else will happen. If it does, I'll obviously let you guys know. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know about that. So that's my fun little story. I'll be a lot more careful when I buy stuff at antique stores, although I did just buy something from somewhere that did have some haunted dolls. I didn't buy a haunted doll. I just bought a couple of clowns, spooky looking clowns, but I didn't get any vibes off them. I just managed to buy a clock that happened to be haunted. Anyway, yeah, like I say, I'm going to be a lot more careful in the future. If I get vibes off something, I'm going to be like, no, don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's just not worth it. I didn't think it through. I just saw it and was like overwhelmed by like how much I knew I could paint it, that I didn't even consider anything else. I picked it up and I knew, but I didn't at the same time, if that makes any sense, because my brain just wasn't thinking about that. I got a vibe from it, but I was like, nah, it's fine. It wasn't fine. So yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I have plenty more videos of weird stuff that's happened to me while I've been gone, so look forward to those, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!